Boy, y'all in for a treat. Got y'all on my Canon, my 80D, and I've got my Rode wireless mic on me right now too. What I've been doing is this morning, I'm the only one here. Today's Saturday. Just me, myself, and I'm loading trucks. And I think I've heard a truck coming in already, but we're just going to run 2 rounds today. And what I've been doing is I've been shooting pictures. I've got the machines all set up. I've been taking still photographs of them, trying to get some more stuff for the website. So that's what I've been doing. So I've not used my wireless mic since back the last time I went crappie fishing, which had been a few months ago, and the batteries were struggling bad. You'll hear it kind of crack a little bit. And I just kept my fingers crossed that the batteries are going to make it through the whole thing, and they did. So it's got a little scratchy in it there in a couple of spots, but I just let it roll with it. See y'all. So this is going to be kind of like when you go to Mama's house and she brings out the good china. I've got all my good gear out today, taking pictures, doing all that sort of stuff like I said before, because I'm the only one here, so I have the time to be able to set things up how I want and do it how I want. And but Cotton Top 3, the brand is about to really change for the better with the website that's getting close to being done. Very excited about it. It's going to push Cotton Top 3 on up to the next level where it really needs to be. And just be looking for all that. Keep in mind, I'll be at the Paul Bunyan Logging Show the first weekend in October 2017. So if you watch this video after that, you know it'll be done past. But it'll be October the 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Jill and I both will be there. There's going to be Chipper that Chipper guy was supposed to be there. John was going to be there, and he announced this week that he wasn't going to be able to be there because of Lacey doing some treatments. Of course, Logger Wade, I think, West Coast Loggers, I think he's supposed to be there, and all that. So it's kind of like the How Farms Work Farm Days. I mean, where can you go and have all those YouTubers there at the same time? But today's video, of course, this thing here you see on my chest, that's not a bug. That's my wireless mic. That's the windscreen on it, so y'all don't hear any wind noise. Y'all just hear me. But I'm going to do a story time. This area here where we're working at, we've worked here several different times. We're just south of Aberdeen, Mississippi. This is what they call Derrickett Road that runs north and south parallel with the river. The river's just sitting right over here. And this ground, I said it in some other videos, is just like the same kind of ground like you run into along the Mississippi River down at Natchez, Vicksburg, places like that, where it's just these crazy hills and rough ground and hollers and gorges and stuff like that. It's really tough logging. And Corps of Engineers own a lot of property up and down through here also. Back in 1990, we bought some timber from the Corps of Engineers, and it was 240 acres to the south of here. And we had been logging for several years at that time, but we were still learning a lot at that time, and still learning a lot now. I mean, even 30 some odd years later. But at that time, all we had was a 648D grapple skidder. It wasn't cabbed in, had a screen and everything, rollover protective structure on it, but it didn't have any doors or nothing like that. And we had a Prentice 210, I believe it was a C loader. It was mounted on a truck, and it didn't have joysticks, it just had levers in it. And like mounted on like a Ford 9,000 or something like that. And we had a Bell tree cutter, our very first Bell tree cutter. It was an 86 model, and we bought it in 88. And that's what we were cutting with. We were cutting that core timber, and it was all mark timber that we were cutting. And it was just me and Dad is all it was. My dad worked another job. He worked from 3 in the evening to 11 at night. So he would come to the woods, and he and I would work together till 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then he would have to leave about then to get home and get a shower and get ready to do his second shift at the plant that he worked at. So then that would leave me in the woods by myself. Was I very productive? No, I wasn't. You take I was 18 at the time, and I graduated school in 90, and that was the summer of 90. Me staying in the woods by myself like that in a remote location, it's kind of scary for me. You know what I mean? I mean, and of course I didn't know what I was doing a lot of times. I was running the cutter, I was doing the cutting, I was skidding the wood, and I was topping it with a chainsaw. We didn't have no delimbers or nothing like that then either. Well, that summer, of course, when Kevin was out of school, he helped during the summer. And I'm 4 years older than Kevin, so if I was 18, Kevin would have been 14. Well, Dad would take off vacation to capitalize, and he had did that this particular week. And Kevin and I were out there, so you got my dad. My dad's learning too. My dad hadn't always been a logger. A lot of people think that, but he hadn't. It hadn't been passed down in the family or nothing like that. It's just something that Dad always wanted to do. He used to farm soybeans, and kind of went from soybean farming over to logging. And so we were all kind of learning. But this particular week, Dad had taken vacation, so we were working all day long. Each day, this video is probably going to be about 15 minutes long, but so we were working. We had loaded a truck. Dad was on the loader, and truck was completely loaded. Kevin and I were trimming up and binding the load down. And keep in mind, Kevin's 14, and he's running a saw. He's trimming that load with I believe at that time we wasn't running the 372s. We were running 262s is what we were running, a 62cc saw. And it was a saw that Kevin and I both could run well because it was lighter than the 72cc saw. And I was throwing the cables over the truck. Dad was on the loader, and Kevin was trimming it. Well, Dad healed up some. When I say healed, he picked up some chipping saw sized trees, which are about that big around, 10 inches, 12 inches on the butt. And he healed them. He picked them up over us. Well, as he picked them up over us, and Kevin and I we were up against the truck. I was throwing the cables. Kevin was trimming it. And the truck was sitting right beside the loader. And his dad picked those trees up over us. I'm looking up, about to throw the cable. And a grapple hose bust on that loader grapple, on that Prentice grapple. And when a grapple hose bust or a boom hose bust on this stuff, it's coming to the ground. So the grapple opened and it let those trees go. Well, luckily I happened to be looking up when I saw it all happen, and I kind of went toward the truck for protection. Of course, Kevin didn't see it. Kevin, he's got that saw and he's cutting stuff. Hang on. So the trees fall and they land on Kevin. They hit him in the top of the shoulder. It mashed him to the ground. The only thing that kept from crushing Kevin was a pile of wood there. It kept those trees from just hammering him straight in the ground. But it hit him, it knocked him down. As I kind of moved to dodge the trees, I saw him get hit. And, I grabbed him and just drug him under the trailer with me. And I thought he was dead. Thought he was gone. The saw hit Kevin in the face. It cut him up here, and it cut him right there. It didn't go into his eye. And he looked at me. And so I knew he wasn't dead. Thank goodness, because me and Kevin are tight. And he was hurt. He was hurt bad. And I hated logging. Didn't want to log. If it was going to get my little brother killed, didn't want to log. Hated it. My dad's a workaholic. That's all he wants to do is work. But it's provided for us. And it's given us what we've got now. And I'm appreciative of that. But at that time, I hated it, man. I hated it. I didn't care what the future would be. I just didn't want my little brother hurt. So, Dad told me to get Kevin in if you can. And I think that was before cell phones. I don't think we had cell phones then either. But I knew if I could call my mama, she could fix things. So I got a hold of Mama somehow or another. I started carrying Kevin in somehow or another. I can't remember. Things were crazy. I can't remember if I stopped and called her or what I did, but I got Kevin in, and Dad stayed in the woods. And, Dad was always one of those type people, nothing's ever that bad, it's no big deal, And, so when I got Kevin to Mama, I knew if I could get Kevin to Mama, he's going to be okay. My mama can fix anything. And so she got him to the ER. I can't remember if I met her or I got him to the ER and we met her there. I don't remember. I can't. It's just all something that I don't really like to think about. But Kevin was it banged Kevin up. It broke his collarbone, and just the tree just tore him up, man. That saw hit him, cut him in his face there, and everything. And but he's gonna be okay. Of course, he was done for the summer. He wasn't out there no more, so I was lonely. I was back out there by myself again. And it's amazing how things work out, to where this is where it is now. And people, it really aggravates me when people say, your daddy this or your daddy that or anything like that. We've built this together. I've been here from the start. And a lot of stuff I talk about, I have a lot of people get on me And it ain't nothing, when I say stuff, it ain't nothing that I've just made up or anything like that. It's the real deal. It's things that I've experienced, that I've seen, and things like that. But that day there in 1990, the summer of 1990 was tough. And I know y'all watching this have seen things like that happen. If had family members hurt or killed. Thankfully, none of us, we've lost any, none of us have been hurt to the point where it was fatal or nothing like that. But I had somebody here a while back send me a message, and they said, Tim, they said, what y'all do in the woods, they said, you're being so deceptive on what you do. And I started to get real defensive when I read that, and then I kept reading, and he said, you got to understand, he said, what y'all do logging wise is one of the most dangerous, most difficult jobs in the world. But he said, y'all make it look too easy, so easy. He said, y'all flow like a well-oiled machine out there. He said, y'all got it down pat. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. And he said, y'all make it look like it's breathing to somebody else. And he said, it's not. He said, people don't understand how dangerous and how difficult what we do is. And he's right. It is. It's very dangerous, very difficult. But it can be done safely. It's something, what we do here, what we do at TDK Logging is what Kevin, Derek, and I were born to do. We were born to run machines and operate. And I told Philip, Kevin's little boy, 11 years old, I told him the other day, I said, Philip, we're training him, working with him. He's doing really good. But I told him, I said, Philip, I said, we're telling you what to do and all. But I said, understand this. I said, the best way you can learn is by watching us. I said, you'll learn more by watching us than we can ever tell you what to do. I said, you got to realize, I said, you're surrounded by some of the best operators around. And there's lots of operators that are like us, that are up there at that level. And I said, all you got to do is watch Uncle Derek, me, your daddy, our granddaddy. And I said, you can learn so much by doing that. But I'd been wanting to share this story about Kevin for a long time. And I just hadn't had the opportunity to sit down like this where I was just kind of alone to do it. And because it chokes me up to think about it, and to think about how much I hated logging, or how much I love it. Where we're at in the logging world, it's just crazy. How things have worked out the way they have, they just have. It's just one of those things. So I hope y'all enjoyed that with me. Just some memories. I'm 45. I spent the majority of my life in the woods. Over 30 plus years now. Of some hard freaking work, man. People watch me run a saw, and I run a saw very well. And the reason why is because there's no telling how many hours I have on the chainsaw. No telling. That's all I used to do. Just work hard. Work hard. Nobody will ever be able to stand over my grave one day when I'm gone and say, old Tim, old Cotton Top 3, he was the sorriest, laziest piece of junk there ever was. Nobody will ever be able to say that. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Later, taters.